Okay, hi guys, welcome back. We're going to be doing another episode of Higurashi. I'm Gerald. Welcome back to the workshop, Ian. How you guys been this week, huh? There's your obligatory chair squeak for the day, so let's begin. Hey guys, you all seem energetic as usual. It was Tomotaki-san. As I lay crumpled on the ground, Mion and Satsuko continued to bicker above me. Rika-chan was patting me on the head, and Rena was still in cute mode. It was probably quite a lively scene. It's a fine evening indeed, although it's rather poor etiquette to photograph a lady without her permission. That's right. At least you don't really need Satsuko's permission. Poor Keiichi. He's taking heels. Yep, literally. Satsuko dug her heel into me. Good evening. You're heading back tomorrow, aren't you? Were you able to take lots of good photos? Yes, thanks for asking. I got plenty of good shots. Tonight's the last we can see of old Tomotaki-san, isn't it? Such a shame. Hurry up and have your major breakout soon. I feel like Tomotaki's lip flaps are off. Just as rude, aren't you? I really am sad I won't be able to hear that voice of yours for half a year. Man, I was going to try to drink this, but oh my goodness, this is, well, one, I have no idea what it is. Two, ooh, I tried to take a small taste, and it just tasted bitter. It says natural herbal digest. We thought it was some type of alcohol we bought from the store the other day, but I guess not. Very suspect. Be sure to have as much fun as you can tonight. You'll be back in Tokyo by tomorrow after all. Isn't that crazy how fast you can travel around Japan? That's true. It will be another 6 months. Until I can enjoy another night where I can see the stars. Tomotaki-san looked up at the night sky cheerfully. At that moment, even though he was smiling, I sensed a bit of sadness. Why don't you move here, Tomotaki-san? In Hinamazawa. Tomotaki-san was speechless. It's not very convenient here. No shops. Or recreational spots. There might not be anything really here, but you know, everyone knew what I was trying to say. Tomotaki-san was also well aware. So Rena, Mion, Satsuko, and Rika-chan, none of them butted in. I've only been here for less than a month, so I don't really know anything about it. Normally I'm a really talkative guy, but in situations like this I'm at a loss for words. Even though all this was happening in such a boisterous setting. It felt like all the background noise was fading into the distance. Yeah, so I chose a really good breaking point for the episode last time, because this is a completely different feel than what came before. This place is probably, I will still say, every time Tomotaki shows up on screen, oh my goodness, it's he's basically a writer, a Ryukichi's, that's the author by the way, his writing device, I feel, in order to propel the story forward. Sorry, just dusting off the computer, has a little bit of dandruff on it. That's not really my fault. Okay. Tomitake-san rested his hand on me gently, silencing me. Thank you. Keiichi-kun. Mion and Runa-chan. Satoko-chan and Rika-chan. Tomitake's smile was so slight, it looked almost as if it was going to crumble at any minute, but it was warm. Why can't he? I also think it would be great if I could live here. Those might have been cruel words coming from a kid who didn't need to worry about working to feed himself. A hand touched my back. It was Rina. Keiichi-kun, you shouldn't pick on adults. It's not nice. The background clamor of the festival returned. True. We need to make sure that Tomitake-san also enjoys tonight. When Rena smiled, the mood instantly got brighter. That's true. I think I'll do just that. Sorry, give me a second here. My ear pops on me. I don't know why. Ah. Hey, Mi-chan. How about it? Can we let him in on our club activities? That's a great idea. Yeah, it feels like I have water trapped in my ear. Give me a second. Moments like this, I wish I had a pause button, you know? I mean, I do, but I don't know how to use it. Come on. Well, I'll just have to deal with it. It's annoying, but... That's a great idea, or so I thought, but Mion had a snobbish look on her face. One of the requirements for membership is residence in Hinamizawa, you see. Come on, Mi-chan. Just for today, don't be mean. Well, he does come around often every year. I'll make him an honorary citizen. Alright, yatta, here we go. Now then. I wonder if this aged fellow, well past his prime, will be a match for me. Let's have him show us the wisdom of a mature adult. Hey, can you keep up with us young'uns? Tomitake-san stepped back slightly at our audacious grins. I, Mion Shionozaki, Club President, do hereby authorize honorary citizen Tomitake's entry to our club. Her words were quickly drowned out by our cheers. What do you mean by club? What our club does, you see. In order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities with various rules. Sometimes they are in your favor, and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I prefer you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. If you wish to mock our childish games, then this will be the perfect opportunity. We'll leave you with nothing. Why so lewd, Keiichi? We won't even leave you the hairs on your butt. What? So it's a club where we play games together. Of course, Rika-chan was the only one to give an answer that made sense. Alright, just what I wanted. I'll take you up on that challenge. You called us senpai, huh? Don't be too rough on me, my mincers. Okay. Tomotaki-san got riled up and did a victory pose like he was 10 years younger. That's perfect. Okay, here we go. We continue to walk through the festival with Mion in the front. Now we looked like a family of 6. It had some intensity to it. Same rules as always. The loser will, of course, be subject to a penalty. Tomotaki-san was a bit surprised, but to us it was the same as always. Regardless of how terrible a penalty it was. Just don't lose. Rena was also brimming with determination. She didn't have any intention of losing. That's true. I tousled Rena's hair to lighten the mood. She giggled to hide her embarrassment. I see, this is what it means to feel like a kid again. Tomotaki-san whispered that to nobody in particular. Wazu and Nashi. Okay. Looking over, I realized the man that Mion had greeted us before the festival. You're here. Little Miss Sonozaki, seems like you brought quite the crowd. We came to eradicate your entire stall. His stall was a shooting gallery. It was the usual setup where you had knocked down the prize you wanted with a cork gun. And these things are normally rigged. The rules are simple. What does this one look like? Oh, literally, it's a cork stall in the background. Okay. 3 shots. The winner is the one who gets the biggest prize. Everybody shouted their agreement. There was no need to consider how to win, since the condition of victory was simply size. The biggest prize at the stall went without question. It was that one, wasn't it? The teddy bear, okay. Oh, that teddy bear, cute! So 500 yen for 5 shots, 3 shots for 300 yen. Okay. Yeah, I can read numbers. It was intentionally placed in an unsteady platform, so it was possible to get it if you hit the right spot. It's magnificently set up to make someone think that. Not bad, Keiichi-san. I figured you would see through this scam instantly. The most logical course of action would be aim at some candy or a doll. The intent analysis had already begun. In this club, you'll get eaten alive if you don't come prepared. Everything hinges on what plan you can come up with before the main event. At some point, a large crowd had gathered around us, making a big fuss. There was this much of a following for our club's infamous event? Okay. Knocking that bear down as sure as a win. Only 3 shots. To use them all, just trying. That'd be rough. Hey. I have other customers waiting, you know? Who's the challenger? Who's up first? But it's dangerous to compete without knowing the gun's quirks. Tomotaki's take on the situation was pretty good. He gets what our club is about. He also seems to be a man who knows how to handle a gun. So, Like I was saying, dog tags. Suspicious. He gets what our club is about. Well then, to be fair, how about using rock, paper, scissors to decide? How about it? Rock, paper, scissors, Janken Pon. Let's go. That's really the only way. See? Janken Pon. After a couple matches, they ended up with Mion being first. I didn't want to end up first. Oh well, I'll think of it as a handicap. Gramps, gun. Here you go. Sorry up. I love the rougher Japanese. It's so much more fun than the proper Japanese. When the shooting range guy handed her a rifle, Mion looked over it intently. She didn't forget to check the cork bullet either. Okay? This gun is brand new, isn't it? No faults, not bad. Mion raised the gun in one swift motion. It was completely different from her careful inspection. She was shooting from the hip. Fire. Reload. Fire. Reload. Fire. Flop. Flop, flop. 3 candy boxes fell, one after the other. A big haul! The crowd paused in a moment of awe and then erupted in cheers. Did we need that sound effect? Okay. Really? Okay. Awesome. That was quite good. Tomotake-san was at a loss for words after seeing such shooting powers. Yeah, it's like Mion is trained with weapons too. Powers? Amazing, Michan. 3. Mitsu. I'll have to look up that word later. That's interesting. Her accuracy was incredible. Her choice of targets wasn't bad either. The 3 Mion had gone after were fairly large or pretty easy to knock over. They were all targets with a very high return on investment. Who's up next? Satsuko? Careful, the bullets are light. Next was Satsuko. The rifle looked a little big for her lithe body, but it didn't seem like she had any problem with the weight. Of course, I shall aim for the grand prize. She proclaimed she was going after the teddy bear. Damn, Satsuko, such a bold move. Okay. The moment she knocks it over, she's guaranteed to be in first. Good luck, Satsuko-chan. Fight hard. Okay. Satsuko was opposite of Mion. She aimed at the target quite carefully and squeezed the trigger. Bah! These bullets are too light. The first 2 bullets struck the bear in the torso, but only shifted a bit. You need to aim higher towards the head or it won't work. Her 3rd bullet was aimed at the bear, but at the candy box below its arm. I hate to say it, but the bear is too much for me. She went boldly after the big catch, but she switched over to a less impressive prey at the last second, and the crowd only gave a strained laugh. Were they laughing because she lacked the courage? These fools knew nothing. Fine attempt, Satsuko. You've gotten better. The palm of Mion's outstretched hand went pump as it lightly tapped down on Satsuko. She seemed to be just talking hot air, but this was actually completely calculated. Damn that Satsuko. Just to avoid being in last place, she dared switch over to an easy target. Without shame or honor. Magnificent. Keiichi, you're admiring the wrong attributes. I will allow you to take the bear, Rena-san. I pray for your victory. Okay, here we go. Okay. Thanks so much, Satsuko-chan. How Mr. Bear is so cute. She couldn't hit the broadside of a barn as regular Rena, but she said that bear was cute. I wonder how Rena-chan will do. I hope he's able to hit at least one. You're underestimating Rena, Tomitaki-san. It's Rena, you know? It's Rena Ryugu, you know? If it was to get that teddy bear. Whoa! Tomitaki-san wheeled around to see what the commotion the spectators were making was about. If it was to get that bear, she'd be able to shoot through a pinhole. The one known as Rena Ryugu could do it. Shaking cute! She couldn't hide her excitement over the bear slow rocking. Now Rena couldn't possibly lose. Not bad, Rena-san. The less collected you become, the stronger you get. Okay, another big cheer. It hit its forehead again. Not enough, the bear seemed to wobble more than before. But it might not be possible. You never know. With Rena-chan's skill, it might be. While Tomitaki was just as excited as the crowd, Rika-chan's analysis was not swayed by emotion. True. If Rena had 10 more shots, then she surely could knock it over. But with just one more, no matter how you looked at it, no go! Ow! The crowd let out a dejected groan. She shot it right in the forehead 3 times. It was a bit late, but they gave her a good round of applause for the attempt. Mr. Bear, I want to take him home. Oh no. She should be praised for her valor, but she had no trophies to show for it. Then at that moment, the old man flicked one of the candy boxes with his finger and handed it to Rena. This is for you, little lady. Huh? You're giving this to me? Oh. The gods wouldn't forgive me if I let you go home after such a display. There's another shower of applause. Rena turned bright red, and I pulled her back over to us by her hand. You did a good job. Your kawaii mode really surprised me. Oh, I really wanted Mr. Bear. Wow. It was easy to see that I only needed a little more to be knocked over. Rena had done quite a lot for me. I still needed to pay her back for that delicious picnic. Alright, then I'll get it and give it to you. What? Tomitaki-san had stolen the words right out of my mouth. Okay. Please, Tomitaki-san. Good luck for... Damn you, old man Tomitaki. Stealing the good parts for yourself. Small hand stretched over and fell gently on my head just before I was overcome by frustration. You keep fighting too, Keiichi, okay? Oh, Dasu. Oh, no. He studied the bear. Setting his sights, he shouldered the rifle while holding the other 2 shots in his hand. Why is he doing that? Yes, no doubt. Tomitaki-san is aiming for... Plop! The time between shots was short. It was meaningless to shoot again once it stopped shaking. So Tomitaki-san was relying on rapid fire to win the battle. He was visibly wobbling much more than ever before, but that was all. It still didn't fall over. Too bad. All her momentary expectation from watching it sway violently turned to a dejected sigh. I really thought it would work. Oh, it seems that since you're a man, you will not be receiving any candy. That was it. That meant Tomotake's-san had no spoils of war. So both Kei-chan and Rika-chan can shoot down a sure, easy prize to avoid being dead last. Avoid being the loser, huh? Oh, sorry about that. It's your turn next, Keiichi-kun. Best of luck. I was the 5th shooter. I took the rifle from Tomotake's-san. If I took the ruthless route, as Mion suggested, then I'd go for something insignificant. Except, when I picked up the rifle, I definitely got a feeling from it. It was burning passion, passed down to me by Tomotake's-san. The regret of not being man enough to fell the bear that Rena wanted. Yes, that's right. If I didn't aim for the bear, then I wouldn't be a man. Attaboy, Keiichi. After all, that was my promise. To Rena. Quick save? Huh? Yakusobo. That means promise. So, what promise? What? To shoot down that bear. Then give it to Rena. That one. You mean... The crowd went wild when they saw our conversation. They did not say Oni-chan, they said Sensei. Either way, cool Oni-chan, show us what you got. That's not it. Find men of the crowd. If I didn't do this, then Rena might mug the old man running the stall on his way home. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Why can't I just express my honest feelings? Keiichi-san surely talks the talk. But how do you actually intend to bring down the bear? Rena and Tomotake's shots did tilt a bit, but I think finishing the job will be difficult. Keiichi-kun. There's only some way to shoot faster. I'd be able to pile on more power from this way from each hit. Good luck, Keiichi-kun. After taking 2 breaths, I shout over to the guy. 2 more rifles. Huh? The crowd murmured among themselves. I wonder what Keiichi-san's up to. One person can't handle 3 rifles at once. I get it, so do I. He's gonna use it so they're already preloaded to rapid fire. Nice thinking, Kei-chan. Mion was able to figure it out magnificently. Basically, what was taking the most time was reloading the shot. That's right. Then by putting 3 preloaded rifles next to each other, Tomotake's-san went silent, peering at me and the bear through his lens. His photographer's blood predicted a miracle would occur, and the crowd finally picked up on what I was planning. They let out a great cheer. They chanted my name, Keiichi. Rapid fire's the key. If I miss, all is for naught. Phew. After letting out a deep breath, I paused. Relax. Now! Oh. The moment, it felt like time itself had stopped. Whoa, so quick. I felt like I could see the trajectory of the bullets. Hit it, and knock it down. The first shot hit it on its head. The second. The third. The bear swayed hard, and then... Did Keiichi do it? He did it! Woo! Yeah! The cheers began before the stuffed animal finished falling off the shelf. The guy caught it before it hit the ground and tossed it over to me. You actually knocked it over. You got me. Amazing. Congrats, Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-san has finally learned how to use his head. I see you in a slightly better light now. I didn't do it all by myself. Everyone hit it, and those small bits together brought it down. This trophy belongs to all of us. Right, this is from all of us working together. Me didn't hit a single time. Irk. After holding up the teddy bear like it was a championship trophy, I handed it to Rena. Here. This is from me. No, from everyone. Thanks for always making your delicious lunches. Rena, thinking she was never actually going to get it, was momentarily speechless. I can't, Keiichi-kun. This is everyone's after all. How? In that case, I was the one who knocked it down. And it's mine. It's mine, so I'm giving it to Rena. I pushed the stuffed animal towards her again. This time she embraced and accepted it. You watched out for me ever since I moved here, after all. I'm really grateful, you see. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Rena dove at me. Mio told me a few days later Rena kissed me, but I didn't realize it during all the excitement at the time. I remembered what I was trying to say to Tomotaki-san earlier. There isn't really much of anything here, but there are lots of things you can't find anywhere else. I gained a lot by coming to Hinazawa. Okay, I get what you're saying, Keiichi. I hope I did not just mess up the thing. Especially at that moment. The crowd's cheers echoed on and on. From the altar set up in front of the shrine, the drums were booming with a booming echo. Sounded with a booming echo. Okay. It was the finale of the festival. I'll be going off ahead then. Uh-oh. I need to go get myself a good spot too. Well then, everyone, see you in a bit. Both Rika-chan and Tomotaki-san gave their farewells and disappeared into the crowd. I wish you the best in your endeavors. Now, shall we be off? Yeah, might as well go see Rika-chan's charming figure. Let's go. Yeah. Huh? Where's Rena? What are you doing? Keiichi-kun. Save me! Since she was carrying such a ridiculously large stuffed animal, she's being carried by the flow of people. What is she doing? She must have her hands full taking care of that bear. So I'll leave Rena in your care, Kei-chan. I have my hands full taking care of Satsuko. Who would want to be looked after by you, Mion-san? Ouch! Don't pull on my arm. Okay. Before losing sight of Mion, I grabbed the back of Rena's collar. Keiichi-kun, not there. Don't grab me there. Always so bossy. Where can I grab them? Yeah, I didn't feel ashamed at all. Rena was ashamed enough for both of us. I grabbed onto Rena's hand and dashed after Mion and the others. We're gonna be late. Let's hurry up. Yeah. I hadn't realized Rena's hand was so delicate. Maybe she needed a little more exercise and nutrition? That's not what I meant. Not at all. My ears burned. I tried to keep calm. I repeated the phrase, keep it cool, keep it together, Keiichi Maebara, in my mind, but it didn't look like I'd be able to anytime soon. I really didn't want Rena to see my face right then, so I pushed onwards, dragging her along without looking back even once. There was already a huge group of people gathered at the altar in front of the shrine. The fire at the altar made it burn as bright as midday and just as hot. There was a pile of futons warded by sanctified rope in front of the altar. Come to think of it, they did say it was a festival where they did something with the continent futons. Keiichi-san, Rena-san, we're over here. Satsuko waved her hand from the front row. Sorry. Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they had saved. How was it? Were you able to have a bit of excitement with Rena? I want to see what this shrine looks like. Yeah, looks like a regular Shinto shrine. You punk, so that was what your plan was? Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin. How was it, Rena? Was Kei-chan's hand bigger than you thought it would be? Oh, she knocked her out. Rena turned bright red, puffs of steam shooting out of her. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face. Mion, when were you hit? Between the ha and the u of her howl, I think. Rena. It's not good to punch your friends to hide your embarrassment. I didn't hit her. Well, whatever. How? Okay. Thump. The thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd. You all must be quiet. It's beginning. It was a solemn ritual. Rika-chan entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by members of the municipal committee. The elders all looked at Rika-chan and clasped their hands in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was the flash from Totake-san's camera. What's the big thing Rika-chan's holding? A hoe that's used for this festival. It's a sacred farming tool that only the shrine maiden may touch. It was such an awkward shape for a farm ritual. For farm equipment. Not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika-chan approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung it skillfully, plowing it through the futons. Each and every little movement of this performance had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a ritual. What's next? Airing out futons? She's purifying the futons, which sacrificially absorb winter's illness for those using them. So when Kei-chan said airing out futons, he wasn't completely wrong. Dude, we need to do that with our mattresses here, but, how? But it makes perfect sense, actually. Rika-chan's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Satsuko looked on, silently lending her support. Worried? Wow. Rika practiced every single day with a mochi hammer. She will certainly prevail. Satsuko's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika-chan started to sway a little, she held her breath. Why wasn't Mion a candidate to be a shrine maiden? It feels wrong having Rika-chan swing around something that heavy. I'd do it if they asked me, you know. And well, it's not something just anyone could do. That's true. Shrine maidens need to be pure, after all. You deserve that, Keiichi. Mion drove her elbow into my side. With a thud of the big drum, Rika-chan gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That's what triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priest had raised up the cleansed futons like a portable altar, all the spectacles stood up. Following after the priests, we all marched at a moderate pace. They descended the shrine's giant stairs in a line. What's happening now? Washing the futons in the river? Watanagashi means setting cotton adrift, you know. The procession continued right up to the bank of the stream. Let's see what the stream looks like. Well, kind of looks like the river near Kyoto. Huh. A fire was stoked high and it was bright as day here too. People started crowding around it, clamoring. Alright, get in line. Line up, Keiichi-kun. I wondered what was up. Maybe we'd get some holy wine? Red and white bean buns? It's not food. I said it was cotton. Wata. Okay? Ah, but of course. They didn't call the Watanagashi for nothing. I finally understood. The committee members pulled out the cotton from inside the futons and balled it up like mochi, handing it out to people. Rena dove into line and brought some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream. Since it's your first time, Keiichi-kun, just copy what I do. She held the cotton in her right hand and waving her hand as if to purify it, she touched it to her forehead, chest, navel, and both thighs. So like this? Weird. You do this 3 times to silently give thanks to Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama? What's that? The name of the shrine's god? This is the first time Oyashiro-sama's got brought up. Yes, it's the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. And Tatsari. Okay. It brings about miracles and curses. So you must be sure to show respect. That sounded like a pretty frightening god, yeah. But, well, when in Rome, I wonder what the original Japanese expression would have been for this. You know what, I'm actually going to save right here. But we're not done just yet. Just so later on I can load this up in Japanese to see if it will show me this. I was officially a resident in Hinamizawa now, after all. Doing as Rena showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama. This way, all the evil that possesses you is sucked out by the cotton. Then you let it gently drift away in the stream and you're done. Together with Rena and I set our cotton afloat on the surface of the water. The flowers of cotton blooming in the water has sucked out all the bad illnesses from Hinamizawa and drifting off, disappearing into the distance. It was wonderful, like those floating lantern festivals I've seen on TV. The best part, though, was feeling that this rite of passage had made me into a true resident of Hinamizawa. Oh! Was that the end of the chapter? Ooh, scene break. Very interesting. At first I was a bit anxious. Hurting someone was something I never even considered. Nevertheless, the anxiety gave place to loneliness, doubt, and more. And then that wicked murderous attempt eventually took control of my mind. Whoa, what's happening? The boy took the first step towards unrecoverable daily life, not even realizing he was walking into the abyss. Onikakushi. A tragedy born from the desire to believe. Are those tears of repentance or tears of resentment? Weird. Was that me just reading the prologue the entire time? Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's save here too. I know I'm making a lot of random saves, but it just feels like an important spot to save, you know? We got another 10 minutes. While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. I wasn't very lonely though. I know this place now. This is where I live, my home. It's probably better if I just stayed here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying this evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitaki-san's. Oh no. I headed towards it. How did it go, Tomitaki-san? Were you able to get some good shots? Yeah, fortunately. Tomitaki-san was with a girl. I felt a little like I was intruding. How was it, Keiichi-kun? Okay, here's a new character. Let's see her sprites. Interesting. Huh. So the new sprite here doesn't have any of the elements of the original. Like, you can see the original elements here. Even in this one, they maintained, like, the little cross pin she has. A ribbon. And even though they obviously drew the breasts to be more obvious. I mean, they're kind of, but it's a lot more, it feels a lot more tame than whatever the manga gamer version was going for. But still, the manga gamer version surprisingly maintains more of the original element of the character. That's the first time I've seen such a drastic character change. Interesting. How was it, Keiichi-kun? Did you enjoy the Matsuri, the festival? From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamazawa. I really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name, because she gave me a light-hearted chuckle. It's probably because hasn't been long since you moved here. It's pretty hard to believe, seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids. Oh, interesting. So that's like, these are Tomitaki and her from like the outside group. Looking in, huh? Perhaps you feel a little bit more like a resident of Hinamazawa after taking part in the festival today? I wonder about that. Oh, that's not like you. I try to get used to Hinamazawa, but there are still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I had met, for example. Things that happened in the past as well. Oh. You're feeling left out because of something like that? It's not so much as feeling left out. It's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the damn construction site. Oh no, why is he thinking about this? The fighting over it and the other conflicts. That terrible incident where they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and bad that had happened here. If it'll put you at ease, I'll tell you everything I know. Tomtaki's smile made me feel more relieved than I ever had been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, "Ask me anything," though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, could you tell me about what happened when the dam was being constructed? There was a big incident where Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right? I think the knowledge will be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper, though. Tomtaki-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke. The decision to start the dam project was finalized 7 or 8 years ago. Okay. I heard it was the next largest project after the one in Kuro. There were 3 major issues in Japan at the time. Improving inter-island transport infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. This kind of reminds me of the story of the guy who built a floodgate before the massive tsunami that hit Japan back in like 2010, 2008? Yeah. There was a guy who built a dam in the middle of nowhere because he heard from the elders, hey, there's been terrible floods here in the past. And he more or less decided to build this dam in the middle of nowhere. And he was ridiculed and died pretty much in shame, considered that he was wasting public funds. But lo and behold, when the tsunami finally came, his town was spared, which kind of changed his legacy entirely. Whereas a lot of Japan was wrecked. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they had provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area right up to Yagouchi, way upstream, would have been underwater. But why did they have to pick a populated area like Hinamizawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? Because it's a valley. But it's kind of a shame to sink such an ancient place. Of course there were protests here in Hinamizawa. Rika-chan had said they had fought. From that choice of words, I had to guess things had turned violent. There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers too. Mian had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. So in other words, if they did not try to build the dam here, the locals would not have unified the way that they have now. Interesting. As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. Okay. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little bit shamed by the fact I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena's and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So there was a dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in Hinamizawa at the time, so I remember it well. Tomotaki-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question. 4 years ago. That's not long at all. It's about this time 4 years ago, so 1980, because the story takes place in 1984. It was the day of the Watanagashi, if I recall correctly. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he had hidden had never been found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I read earlier. It certainly was a tragic incident, but not so terrible that Ren and Mion needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for being so interested in it. It's near the end of all the trouble at the dam, you see. Ooh, what? So everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse? Okay, that gave me goosebumps. That's not good. Oyashiro-sama tatari, huh? Tatari. Tatari means curse. I only know that from Melty Blood because the villain of it was called Tatari. So I learned that word a long time ago. Oh, for curse. There's, I believe, Velaccio. Oh, the main villain of the original Melty Blood. Yeah, dude, I'm old as dirt. Or don't be fooled by my young-looking face. I've been around the internet forever. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recalled correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down upon the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa. Whoa. We got CG. Interesting. No! No! What did I do? Alright. Thank God for text logs. Apparently the younger ones didn't think so, but the elderly in the village never doubted that it was a curse. The woman with Tomotaki-san chuckled mischievously. Tomotaki-san began laughing with her, so infectious I ended up laughing as well. But I wonder about now. There are quite a few, I think, among the youth too. A few what? People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that it continued every year. Always around this time. Continued? What continued? Tomotaki-san paused for a second as if to build up suspense. Then he whispered to me as if someone might have been listening. Every year, on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody dies. The year following dismemberment, on the day of Watanagashi, a man from Higurashi, who had supported the dam, fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Speaking of his wife, unfortunately, her body was also never recovered. He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa. At that time, there were whispers among the elderly saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, so 2 years ago, the night of Watanagashi, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. The shrine's Shinto priest? You mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was a rumor among the villagers that they were unable to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. Then the year after that, 1 year ago, again on the night of Watanagashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife be involved in some way too? Sanatoyo. Exactly. The woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacingly. Okay, there's no other graphics for... The CG is Switch only, gotcha. The victim's family, you see, happened to be that of the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. The younger brother is still alive, it seems. But it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighboring town. Oh my goodness. For a while there, I stood with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction, with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murderer at the center of it all. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't want to believe in curses. But the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to dam construction? It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves. But when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would defy logic. I don't believe in curses. But every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. The woman chuckled again as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying maybe there was. Maybe we frightened him. Stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomotaki-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then? So someone died the next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder, who do you think, Keiichi-kun? Huh? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Ah, man, I need to wrap this episode up. I'm tired. But this scene is so good. This is like the turning point of the novel. I think they showed the little prologue statement there to show this is where the novel changes. The way he said it didn't agree with me. This sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question. I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiichi-kun. I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking. We aren't trying to avoid the question, Keiichi-kun. It's just when you say the next year, when you say the next Watanagashi, that's today. Kyo-yo. Oh, the soundscape is immaculate. Okay, wow. When Tomotaki-san hesitated to say it, she finished for him. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed. Nobody speaks of it, but they all think it's going to happen again tonight. The festival was so cheerful, though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. It turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. Ooh. There was a rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi-kun? I never even heard a whisper of that rumor. Then the reason everyone at the festival was they were afraid of the curse? I figured that must have been the reason. Oh shit, that means Keiichi's parents. Maybe they went to the festival later. Maybe. There was a lot more people at the Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid after all. Man, what is up with this voice actress? She has that older woman voice, you know? Of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television had been eradicated and we sent men to the moon, even with all of our accomplishments. This can exist in modern society? Absolutely, dude. You have no idea how quickly mankind regresses in society. I would argue that our current modern society right now is more primitive in some ways than 1984 Japan was. Like, oh my god, it is such a wasteland out there. Tons of invitations were sent out to neighboring towns' youth groups to help pad the numbers. But after that string of events, few decided to join. Municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. But apparently they sent a few plainclothes officers for security. It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with, and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have to act like nothing happened, and we would have gone back to life as usual. But some truths once you know. Maybe it was just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I wonder what Keiichi looks like right now. I tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomozaki-san appeared to regret saying anything. Looking outside, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor. Keiichi-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses. Well, no. Oh, no. Don't say that, Keiichi. If the causes of all the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods all mysteries, then I could see the possibility of a curse. Yeah, see, I'm totally in the camp that curses do exist, so don't play with this stuff. This is terrifying. But that's not how things are in reality. Police investigations have already uncovered the truth and perpetrators for all the cases. Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, the dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one. The motive turned out to be an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to a curse at all. The accidental deaths of the couple who swore the dam is the same. He was in a position that made the others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day of the festival, right? Just think about it, Keiichi-kun. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamizawa could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during Watanagashi. Yeah, that's reasonable. So they probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what he was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so I could convince myself. Then Tomozaki-san, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness. That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It's probably from all the built-up stress. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition he didn't know. Because, hey, this is 1984 Japan, in a rural village, from a Shinto priest who probably doesn't trust evil Western medicine, from the Dutch doctors. Yeah, sure. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe such a thing could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumors making rumors. Anyone would get worked up at having so many incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural, though. Of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who are of strong faith were quick to believe it was work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife, yeah. Apparently, they found a suicide note that said something like, "My queen will quell the Oyashiro-sama's anger." Well then, how about the next incident with the housewife? That happened on the day of the Watanagashi too. The perpetrator's already been caught and the case has been closed. Turns out it was just a nutjob trying to continue the legacy of the curse. Then how about the incident next year? Oh yeah, this year is the next year. He gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen. Not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believed it was the explanation for a string of coincidences. Okay. My internal computer finally got itself on track. I felt a little embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly now that Keiichi-kun really does love Hinamizawa. Even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist. I can't imagine that Keiichi-kun would become a target. I felt very relieved. I probably should just forget about everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Brenna and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They probably also like tonight to end without incident so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock she had been sitting on. Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on too long. We never got her name. There are so few people compared to the crowd before. I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed like we talked for the better part of an hour. True. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi-kun? Not gonna go look for them? Oh yeah. They might all be looking for me. You're quite the scoundrel, making girls look for you. See you, Keiichi-kun. Have a nice night. Tomotake's first name, Jiro. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you a bit later. Oh, I'll see you a bit later, huh? You two are on a first-name basis, eh? Tomotage-san seemed to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name was Jiro. Okay, noted that too. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people, still busy clearing up the shrine grounds. Alright. I think we can wrap it up here. And we will pick up next time. And now the big suspense scene finally ended. That was amazing. That was so good. Like, really, honestly, that was fantastic. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. I want to tell you guys all thank you for watching. This is such a ball. I'm having a great time reading this, especially with that last sequence. That was phenomenal writing. It really grabbed me and held me into place. Come join us next time for more Higurashi, okay? I'm Gerald. I'm signing out.